Today, I passed by your cafeteria, your restaurant, and got a good look at it. That place is way more run down than I was expecting. Are you going to be able to get any customers there?
Good evening, Laurel. As of right now, I wouldn't exactly say that we're breaking even just yet. It's pretty hard working in the culinary industry, but from here on out, my husband and I are going to do our very best to make sure this restaurant succeeds. Unfortunately, right now costs are pretty rough, but over time I'm sure they'll become more manageable. We just have to get over this first hump and everything will be just fine.
The culinary industry, huh? I'm not sure I'd be including a place like that in the culinary industry. That kind of a rundown shack is more like a dive bar or something. And even that would be generous of me to say about it.
I'm not sure you need to be saying that about our restaurant right now. Things haven't gotten any easier for us here ever since we had to loan you some of our money before.
Huh? So you're trying to say that it's my fault now that your restaurant isn't doing well? You really love to pass off responsibility to others, don't you?
Well, if you're not wanting to be responsible as one of the reasons why we don't have much money at the moment, would you be able to pay us that money back soon? It's been over a year now since we loaned it to you. I've tried asking my brother about it already, but he keeps ignoring me.
Ugh. There's no point in trying to get anything out of Louis, so leave him alone and only talk to me. I've already told him that any words that come out of your mouth are lies, and it's best just not to talk to you.
What? Why would you say something like that about me?
What does it matter to you? Our marriage and how we communicate has nothing to do with you.
Understood. Well, it's been a year now, so would you please start paying some of that money back to us? You asked for that money from us in order to do something with it, but that all happened a while ago. And so far, my husband and I haven't seen a penny in returns from then.
Well, as family things like this are pretty common, aren't they?
Excuse me? I think you're mistaken.
Well, as family, we have to be there for one another to help out, right? Now, good luck to your husband and you with that rundown food shack you're trying to run. Try your best not to let it go out of business within a month.
As for that money we lent you, I'm going to talk with you again about it really soon.
Has Laurel gone and given you guys your money you lent her back?
Not yet, and it doesn't sound like she ever will. I'm in a bit of a pickle. Not even Louis is talking to me about it anymore.
As your mom, I am really worried about the both of you and about what's been going on lately. I am getting pretty high up there in age now, and one day I won't be around to help out anymore. I'd love to see you both working together as brother and sister, instead of always having something against one another.
I have nothing against Louis, but as long as he has a wife like that, I don't think things between him and I will ever be okay. But I'm going to try my very best, okay? I don't want to make you worry about us anymore.
I've always been worried about the both of you, since you guys have never really been that close to one another. And ever since Louis became an adult, he has been ignoring you the most out of anyone in the family. Once he ended up marrying Laurel, things only became worse, and he completely stopped talking to you, right?
That's very true. Things have gotten so bad now that I don't know what to do.
And ever since they both started living with me, I've felt like I've had my hands bound. I was happy to hear from him at first about living together, but now I'm not so sure that was the right thing to do. I know they only wanted to live with me now because Laurel wanted me to pay for the housing and all of that.
I see. But isn't Louis working right now? Was he not able to pay for the place they both had before? Well, if things aren't going so well for you, you can always come out and move in with us. I'd feel bad taking you away from them, though, because I'm sure Laurel would only start to behave worse.
I will have to talk with those two about how things have been going recently, okay? I would like to open the both of their eyes so that they can see what they've been doing. I know that if things keep going the way they are now, things won't end well.
What? Did something happen already? Did something happen to you?
Kendra, has your mom told you yet that she was told she only has a half year to live? I cannot believe this is already happening. Her needing someone to take care of her at home. Well, I'm not caring for some old hag like her, so I've gone and kicked her out of this house.
Are you kidding me? That house is my mom's house, though. You've kicked my mom out of her own house?
Your brother and I are living here still, so it's our house now, right? And we don't want to let someone who only has 6 months to go stay in our house, especially when she could die at any minute. Then the place would smell like old person, and we'd have to burn the place down.
Laurel, you are a lot worse than I first thought. Did my brother say you doing something like that was okay?
Louis doesn't have a say in any of this. All he's allowed to do is what I tell him he can do. So there you go. And he was looking forward to seeing the old hag go, so this was the perfect thing for both of us.
He wanted that? There's no way he would want his own mom kicked out of her house. To him, she's his mom, and she did so much for him. Why would he want her out of the house as much as you wanted her out?
Because to him, he is much more close to me than he is to her, so he will do anything to keep me happy. And that's why the old hag is on the streets now. Take her into your raggedy restaurant and keep her there.
Then this means you really have kicked my own mother out of her own house, right? Do you really think you can get away with doing something as idiotic as that?
She might be Louis's mom and all, but to me she is nothing more than a stranger. And she was the one who told us she doesn't have long to live, so I thought we could do whatever we wanted with her. I'm honestly not that kind of a person, and will not be letting a dying old person stay in my house. That old pain-in-the-butt hag is all yours now, so you and your low-life husband figure out what to do with her.
You are the worst.
Shut up and listen to what your sister-in-law says. That old hag cannot live in our house anymore, so the only person left that can take care of her is you, right? Although, I'm not sure what two lowlifes who are running a crap shack will be able to do for her.
Laurel, are you sure you want to be doing this? Doing something like that to my mom, like kicking her out of her own house? You're going to regret going through with something as heartless and thoughtless as that.
Why would I ever regret making the best choice of Louis in my life? We are finally able to call this house our own. And getting our hands on this house happened a lot faster than I was expecting.
Was that your plan from the very start then? You had your eyes on my mom's house?
If that wasn't our goal, then why would we ever choose to move in with that old hag? We always planned to have her kicked out of here the moment she started needing someone to look after her in her old age.
I won't forgive you for that. Laurel, I'm going to make sure you regret everything you've done here.
Sorry that I have to come over right now. Is Ian going to be okay with this?
Oh, you really don't have to be worried about what my husband thinks. To him, he thinks of you like his own mother. He said that if things were as bad as you said they were over there, you should have come to our house sooner. Louis's wife, that frickin' bitch. No, she's just straight up a devil.
Kendra, I'm doing just fine right now, so you can calm down, please.
I have no reason to be calm after what's happened to you. I never thought that anyone in our family would be okay with putting you through that, especially after being told you only have 6 months left to live. Why would anyone in their right mind choose to kick someone out of their house because they were told they only have half a year left?
I know, right? I'm just as surprised as you are. I thought that those two at least had some form of a heart within their chest. But seeing as how they'd kicked me out of my own house, after the devastating news I gave them, they are both heartless indeed. Your brother never used to be like this, but I know that Laurel has most definitely been that way for a very long time. At least you and I know that she's not going to change for anyone. And Louis has just become her pet, and won't ever be reasoned with.
I'm disappointed in him, though. I have tried to talk with him many times now, but he never replies to me and just does whatever Laurel says. Does he think of himself as a man for being used like that by his wife?
Kendra, you don't have to be that upset over this. I've already made my decisions based off of what I've seen today.
And, Mom, I've made up my mind as well. I no longer think of those two as part of this family, and I never will again. You view them the same way, right? As no longer being a part of this family? I'm sure you were wishing for a very long time that Louis and I would grow close to one another, like a true brother and sister would. But it's not happening now. I won't allow him anywhere near me anymore.
There is something you were never told about, though, Kendra.
What? What do you mean? What happened that I was never told about?
Hey, I heard this rumor going around. And that rumor was that your restaurant is doing wonderfully now? I was close to your restaurant today to have a look around. And outside you had this long line of people waiting to go inside. That place looks like it went through a dang hurricane. So what did you do to get all those customers?
So you came out to have another look, did you? Well, I'm not sure why you'd do that, considering we already cut ties to you. So wouldn't you be better off spending your time on things that actually matter to you?
I found it strange that out of all the places that would be booming in town, your crappy restaurant would be one of them. Just a few weeks ago, you were saying that there wasn't enough money coming in, but now the place is looking a lot better than it was before. Not perfect, but it went from being a rundown shack to being a hurricane survivor. What the hell happened?
With the help of my mom, we were able to put some more work into the place.
What? With the help of your mom?
Does this have anything to do with you? I assumed the day you kicked my mom out of her own house, we had all agreed on cutting ties to one another. I'm confused as to why you would want to be talking to me again. Unless it's because you're jealous.
Huh? Who are you calling jealous? Why would I ever become jealous of all you losers?
If you find that we're all losers, then you should be leaving us losers alone, right? But based off what you were just texting me, you said that our restaurant is doing wonderfully, which to me seems like you're very interested in our lives again. Perhaps because you're jealous of it? You want to know why, right? Why my husband's and my restaurant is doing so well now?
I'm sure this was just a one-time occurrence, and that within no time, your restaurant will be back to burning all your money away. Why are you trying to act all high and mighty like you guys are successful now?
Because this all happened with the help of my mom, the one you and my brother kicked out of her own house and told to come live with us.
What? What do you mean that all happened with her help?
You kicked her out because you didn't want to have to care for her in her old age, right? I think it was horrible of you to kick her out on the same day she was told she only had 6 months to live. But thanks to something like that, we were able to get the help of my mom. Because we got the help of my mom, who is both good at cooking and at advertising, we were able to become popular in no time. My husband and I know now very clearly that the way we were trying to do things before was not correct.
You're telling me your mom did all of that for you? How? And how were you guys able to make the inside of the place look so fancy? Does this mean your mom has a lot of money or something?
Well, you might just be right about that.
What the hell? Your mom? She never said anything to me about having that kind of money. I thought she was just some moneyless old hag. Had I known she still had some uses, I would have kept her around as my ATM.
When do all of your terrible comments stop, Laurel?
Huh? I'm just speaking the truth about her is all. I was never going to take care of some old woman who had no money to give me. Had I known at the time that she did in fact have money, I would have kept her around and made her pay for my services.
Laurel, you really are far from being human. Thank God the three of us cut ties to you when we did. My mom was well aware of how old she was getting, and all she wanted to see before she left this world was my older brother and I getting along together. But ever since you became a part of my brother's life, there's been no possible chance of that ever happening. Louis being the person he is meant that he had always avoided me. But when you came along, you forced him to stop talking to me entirely because that's the kind of monster you are.
Aren't you being a little bit too rude right now? By the way, all that crap you keep on spewing does not matter to me.
When you were having financial troubles a year ago, I lent you some money, did I not? My husband and I both talked about it for a while, and after agreeing that we'd help you out, we used a large part of the money meant for our restaurant on you.
Really? I don't care, though. As family, it's our job to help one another out, right?
Family? The moment you heard from my mom that she was only given half a year to live, you kicked her out of her own house.
This and that are two completely different things.
Well, it's not like any of that really matters to me either now. The moment I lent you that money, your attitude took a 180, and then you ended up never giving the money back to us later. Even when my husband and I needed it badly for our place, you acted like you didn't have to give it back to us. At least after all those terrible experiences with you, my husband and I know exactly what kind of monster you are.
And so what? Complaining to me and about me like that isn't going to get you anything.
I'm not really complaining anymore, as I don't care to with you. My family is all doing really well here now, and so I think it's time for you guys to get out of here.
What the hell are you talking about? What do you mean it's time we get out of here? It's not even like your guys' lives matter to us anyway. If you're really telling me all that success was due to the old hag, then it's not going to last for long. She doesn't have much time left. And when she's gone, your restaurant will fall right back to where it started. It really sucks, doesn't it? You only got a taste of the good life. And once the old hag is dead, your lives in that restaurant will be over.
Ah, you're talking about that. That was a lie, you know.
What?
My mom isn't actually sick or anything, and she was never told by anyone that she only had 6 months left to live. She was just saying that as a way of testing you and my brother.
Huh? What are you talking about? So you're telling me she was never told anything about only having half a year left?
That's what I'm saying. She's still very healthy and has not changed one bit since coming to our place.
What the actual hell? Why the hell would she be telling a lie like that?
At the time, I had no clue about this myself, but it seems that my mom has a lot of assets, and that's what's led to her having so much money.
What? Assets? What do you mean?
And it sounds like my husband and I will be getting all those assets and that money from her when she eventually does pass. That also means we'll be getting that house you and my brother are both living in now. So pretty soon you will be getting a notice saying that you both have to leave. I think leaving right now will give you the best chance at finding a place to move to without becoming homeless.
We're going to receive a notice? In other words, we're going to be evicted? From this house?
Well, of course from that house. Neither of you have any right to be in that house, and right now my mom could call the police and have them come and remove you as squatters.
But when your mom passes away, wouldn't this house become Louis'? And because it will become his, that means it would also become mine, right?
I told you already. My mom is not going to die just yet. And even if she were going to die soon, the house wouldn't be going to you guys. And that's because we've decided to have it sold.
You're all selling it? I never heard anything about having this house sold. Why are you all talking without including the people who actually live here?
Because that house isn't yours. It's my mom's, and she has the right to do whatever she wants with it. There is no reason for her to get your opinion about selling the place.
What? Is that even possible? So since you're going to be selling this house, we need to get out of here?
That's what I've been saying, Laurel. Also, we went and sent my brother a message about all of this.
You sent a message to Louis? About what? What did you say to him?
I told him all about how you had borrowed money from my husband and I, yet have still not paid any of it back. And that you have until the end of this month to return every penny that you borrowed from us, or else you'll have to talk with our lawyer.
Huh? Why are you talking about all of that with him?
We just got a response from him a second ago, but he said he had no idea you borrowed money from us. What's that all about, Laurel? Why is your husband unaware of the money that you borrowed from my husband and I? Is this why you've had him ignore me all this time?
Why did you say all this useless crap to him? And what's this about a lawyer? What?
That $30,000 we lent you needs to come back to us soon. And if it doesn't, we will use legal help to pry it out of your hands. Remember how just before we lent you the money, we had you sign all of those IOU forms? I think it was very stupid of you to think you could run from legally signed documentation stating that you'd pay us back. We're not letting you run from us, and we will be getting all $30,000 of that back from you. So please get all your finances together and be ready to pay up.
Hold on a second, Kendra. Calm down. Why are you talking about so many scary things? You and I are family, right?
I just got off the phone with my brother and totally get it now. You've been lying to him all this time about how I've somehow been bullying you. And then you told him to never listen to anything my mom or I would say to him because you said we'd be lying. You would tell him all sorts of lies about how my mom and I have been picking on you, all so that we'd look like the bad guys and so that he'd only listen to you. I do think that my brother is pretty stupid for believing all of those lies, but you've been the one behind all of those lies, which makes you our number one enemy.
I'm not sure what you're all talking about. Perhaps those are all just misunderstandings that Louis had of me? I have no reason for ever doing something as strange as that to him.
Don't even bother playing dumb now. I know that he was never willing to believe what I had to say about all that debt you've had. But when I had a lawyer get together with me and go through all of your transaction history, it wasn't hard to convince even my brother of what you'd really done.
Are you trying to break our marriage apart now? Stop meddling in my business. You went and looked at all my transaction history like that? You're a monster.
How so? This was all stuff you did yourself, right? You've been the one in debt to not only me, but plenty of other companies as well. If you don't start paying my husband and I and some of those other groups off, you're going to be in a lot of trouble. And don't forget that when my mom told you that simple lie about how she'd be dying soon, you showed your true colors. Before, Louis was always listening to everything you told him because you made my mom and I look like assholes. But now that he knows the truth, he is running over to our house to beg for forgiveness from us.
Why are you trying to make it look like I'm the bad guy now? This is all messed up.
Seems like my brother knows a thing or two about why you needed our money.
What? About what? I just needed that money in order to pay for a few things pertaining to my life. I'm not sure what he all knows about that sort of stuff.
I'm pretty sure you do know what he's talking about, but it's not something that I should be mentioning. You can have that conversation with him since he is your husband. All I care about is getting that money back from you that you were lended. Besides that, I'm not going to bother with you.
Kendra, what about your mom's will?
What about it?
If she is able to give me some of her money after she passes, I'll be able to pay you and all those other companies back. So I was wondering if I'd be inheriting anything from her. That would work out perfectly for everyone, right?
I have no idea what you're going on about now. You're not getting a single thing from my mom after she passes anyway, so give it up. And let me remind you that she's not dying right now, and it will be years before her health even begins to show signs of that. To my mom, Laurel, you are nothing. And you're going to look the same way to my brother now as well. You're going to lose that house you've been squatting in, and then the real pain will start to kick in.
If I'm kicked out of this house and have to deal with all my debt, I'm not going to be able to live. Kendra, that'd be like you murdering me, right? I believe that you were all my family, yet you want me dead?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Weren't you the one that kicked my dying mom out of her own house? I'm going to make sure you burn in hell. Trash like you needs to be put in the landfill. Because of you, Mom, the restaurant was even able to go on TV. And I suppose I could be thanking Louis and his brain-dead wife as well.
You'll be on TV? That is so amazing to hear. I'm so happy I was able to be of some help to you. And like you were saying, we also have Laurel to thank for this.
And now that they're falling apart, Louis's eyes are finally being opened. I'm really shocked by what we learned in the end, though. Laurel was using Louis's credit cards to go out and hire a younger man to play with her? Ugh, yikes, right? I feel kind of bad for Louis now.
But he was the one that chose to be with and marry her, so he is responsible for that outcome just as much as she is. He may have came to us asking for our forgiveness, but after what he done, he will not get off the hook that easily. We need to make sure that man knows his lesson.
You are a pretty strict mother, aren't you, Mom? Not only did you ask him to go and find his own place to live now, but you told him that he had to help pay off her debts. Luckily, Laurel's parents have stepped in too to make sure she pays up. I hope that someday Louis will be able to recover from this and become a part of the family again.
I'm wishing for that as well. But until we can let him back in, he's going to have to show us that he's changed.
And that's all up to him. Anyway, I'm just glad that out of all that's happened, you're not going to die soon. And thank you so much for helping out with our restaurant.
And thank you and your husband for getting your house ready for me to move in so quickly like that. I was a bit worried about what would happen after being kicked out then. From now on, let's make sure to stay in an even tighter family and help one another out every single time.
Yes, that's what I want to happen. Mom, thank you for everything. Because of all the help my mom gave us, our restaurant became one of the most famous places to eat this year and would appear on TV and in a monthly magazine. It's so famous now that most days we have people lined up waiting to come in to eat. As for my brother, he's trying his best to show my mom and I that he's learning his lesson and is changing by always bringing gifts over to the house. He's also bringing us money from Laurel to help pay off her debt to me, so it seems he really doesn't want to ignore anyone anymore. As for Laurel herself, she was forced to get rid of that young man she was paying to sleep with her, and after getting divorced by Louis, had to move back home with her parents. There they work her like a horse on their family farm and make sure she doesn't have any free time to enjoy herself with. I would really like all that money she owes back right now, but she's only just begun working, so I'm just going to have to wait a while. And honestly, it's nice to hear from her parents about how miserable she is now that she's lost almost everything. And every once in a while, they'll send me pictures of her crying out in the field, covered in manure. Thank you for watching and listening. We hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Also, feel free to leave a comment about what you thought of the story. We look forward to seeing you at the next story.